KELP studio in El Paso, this is 915 Talk.
And now your host.
Good afternoon, beautiful citizens of the borderland. This is 915 Talk, and I am your host, Andy Frecka. We are broadcasting today from the heart of the world's largest borderplex. We're here at the KELP studio here in El Paso, and today we have Kenny on the board.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, Kenny on the board. How you doing today?
Doing well. I'm here on the board.
All right. So, Kenny, we're going to talk about something that I know is near and dear to your heart today.
Pizza?
Physical fitness.
Okay.
Physical fitness. Now, I know that you are pretty heavy into that. You and I have had conversations about your training regime. After you eat dinner, you go for a 30-minute walk.
Yes.
I respect that. I also go for a 30-minute walk after dinner. But Kenny on the board, I think a lot of our radio listeners, they've never met you in person. And what they want to know is, how much can Kenny on the board bench press?
I don't know. I don't lift weights.
Just take a guess.
I don't know. I lifted the back end of a car once.
You lifted the back end of a car once. Did you say?
I was like 14 or 15.
Did you save somebody's life, Kenny, on the board?
No.
Oh, I was like, we're just getting into this now? That's what the rest of the hour is going to be about. So we have someone in the studio. He's a very special guest. Do you know why he's a special guest?
He is the unique expression of an endlessly creative God.
That is correct, Kenny.
I got it right.
That's right, Kenny on the board. He is the unique expression of an endlessly creative God, just like all our guests. But what makes him different, first of all, he's the only guest my sons have asked me to have on the show.
Wow.
Yeah, they're like Malachi, my son, who is running the YouTube Live right now for 915 Talk and the Facebook Live. He's like, you got to have him on. And then Benny, my youngest, they were like, you got to have this guy on. And I'm like, if this guy can hold my teenage son's attention, he does need to be on the radio.
Yes.
He has their attention. So he's a weightlifter.
Okay.
But he's not just a weightlifter. He can do the standing broad jump. So you know what the standing broad jump is, Kenny, on the board?
I'm going to guess that you stand still and then jump as far as you can.
That is correct. Please do not insert applause for yourself at this point. That's pretty obvious.
Nope.
But he can do 11 feet 4 inches.
Wow.
A standing jump.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So he's also into the snatch, bench press, front squat, back squat. But we're going to talk a little bit about that. But really, here's the big deal, Kenny on the board. You know what else he's into?
What's that?
He's an Olympic hopeful.
Okay.
Not for any of those. Well, maybe for some of those things. We'll talk about that. But really, he's an Olympic hopeful for a sport you would never expect for someone from El Paso to get into.
Swimming?
No. Even better. Bobsledding.
Okay, well, my next guess was skiing.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. That would be close. He's training to be an Olympic bobsledder.
Amazing.
Right here in El Paso. So without further ado, let's give, wherever you are, maybe you're out in Fabens, maybe you're, where else? Out in Anthony. We don't mention Anthony enough. We have a lot of listeners in that area. Anthony, Texas, Anthony, New Mexico. Maybe you're up on I-25 North, listening to 89.3 FM out by Hatch. Wherever you are, let's give a very warm Borderland welcome to the one, the only, Coach Terrance White! Coach T, welcome to 915 Talk.
Hey, what's up, brother? Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, so this is going to be fun talking about all of this. But you're originally from Houston. How long have you been in El Paso?
So I've been here in El Paso almost about like 10 years now.
Okay, what brought you to the borderland?
The U.S. Army.
The U.S. Army.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention that in the intro. You were playing some rugby for the U.S. military.
Yes, that's correct.
Were you like on the Army team, or was it just like intramurals?
No, it was all Army.
Oh.
So I started off on an intramural team, and then I was good. I found out I was fast enough, and then it's like, you should do all Army rugby. So,
all Army rugby. Yeah. So the Army has, like, its one rugby team. And who do you compete against?
So we compete against Fiji. We could compete against Samoa, Most of
Ooh.
our tournaments was in Vegas, so it was
Right.
cool. Navy, Air Force,
Oh,
so
that's
forth.
cool. Yeah, in Fiji and Samoa, those are the rugby. I mean, that's the rugby capital of the world. Those Pacific Islands. There's some big boys. I did see a video of you today running. You were moving. I saw your 40-second dash. What are you at on your time?
Oh, I run a 4.28 and a 40.
4.28 in the 40. And I think what's kind of interesting about that is people don't see you if they're listening to the radio right now, but you're not a tall guy.
No.
Which is interesting, and you're I guess you would say stocky, but you can move.
Yeah.
You're fast.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So you could run fast. You can lift. And we got to get into this bobsledding. So you grew up in Houston. As a child growing up in Houston, did you dream someday of becoming an Olympic bobsledder?
No, sir. Not at all. Not at all. I thought I was going to go to the NBA until my coach told me I'm too short.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And so you end up in the Army. You come here, I guess, to Fort Bliss.
Correct.
And you're 4 years in El Paso, or how long?
So, yes. So, basically, I did my first term in El Paso from 2015 to 2018. Then I went off to Korea
Okay. So how long were you in Korea?
for 18 months.
18 months. Okay. Came back, and this whole time you're working out. So what time did you get up this morning, Coach T?
I get up every morning at 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Yes, sir.
I also get up at 2 a.m. every morning. We have a lot in common, except for what happens after that. so after you get up at 2 a.m., what do you do?
Spend time with God. That's my biggest thing. Before I start my day, I start off in prayer. Then I do my daily devotion. Then I hit the gym.
And then you hit the gym. What time do you hit the gym?
So I do all that. Like, it take me like 30 minutes to, prayer and devotion.
Right.
And then I'm in around 2:30, 2:35, something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay. And why do you do it at that time of day?
You have to understand, the Big Apple, New York City, they get up. And being here in El Paso, it's a 2-hour difference.
Okay.
So if it's 2 here, it's 4 o'clock over there. So that's the reason why it motivates me to get up, because they already up working. And then it's psychologically an advantage to me is because the more you sleep, I'm working. It gives me an advantage, because some people don't want to wake up at that time and stuff like that.
So you have in your mind when you wake up in the morning, it's 4 a.m. in New York City. I got to be New York City out of bed.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. And so you hit the gym, and how long do you spend there?
Well, my coach fixed me on that. Now, sometimes I stay up to 5 to 6 hours, depending on, my workout. But I stay in there mainly now like 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours in the morning. And is it something different every day?
Yes, something different every day. But my main thing is continue to focus on my speed. I love being fast.
Oh. Yeah. So what's the key to staying fast? Kenny on the board was wanting me to ask you that question.
Be explosive. Lift heavyweight fast.
Okay. So you're doing a lot of squats, but you're doing them fast?
Yeah, a lot of pause squats, a lot of split squats, a lot of Bulgarian squats, anything that simulates sprinting or any type of running.
Okay. And you have to do it fast to kind of replicate the running so that you can be quick when you're running.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now I don't try to put the bar up with a lot of weight. That's how you get injured. But you got to build to that.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So in the Army, you're in the all-Army rugby team. You're playing Samoa. You're playing Fiji. What are you thinking at that point? Like, as far as like sports, athletics, and where all this is going to take you?
Well, playing rugby, I didn't know I was going to play rugby because I always wanted to run track. But playing rugby opened up my eyes that it no matter your background, how tall are you, there's no discrimination. There's no blocking, no nothing. You just have to have that dog, that heart, that tenacity to be like, yo, I love this. Again, it feel like a Mack truck hitting you. So it's just the adrenaline of the game.
Wow. Yeah, but you love athletics.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you're beating New York City out of bed. So you love athletics.
Yes, sir.
But as you go through this journey of weightlifting, rugby, running, all of these things, what do you see down the road ahead of you?
As for me, I just want to be whatever God want me to be. That's
Okay.
that's the reason why I get up every day. I attack every day because God wakes me up. Like every day He wake me up. There's no excuses not to be great. I'm so obsessed with being great. That's just
Wow.
who I am.
Okay. So where does bobsledding come into the story?
So I was in Korea. Shout out to my coach, Garrett Hines, 2-time silver medalist. So when I was in Korea, I was playing rugby. I kept getting injured. He said, "Hey, man, you should watch this movie, Cool Runnings." I said, "Cool Runnings? What is that?" He was like,
That's before your time. I remember Cool Runnings. It came out in, I believe, 93. It was when I was still in high school, and it's the Jamaican bobsled team. Yeah, go ahead.
"Correct." So he was like, "Go watch it." So I went back to my barracks and I watched it. I said, "Man, I want to do this. I want to do this." I'm so hyped. Hey, where can I sign up? What do I need to do? He said, "First, you're going to put on some weight," because I was like 165. I was small in the Army.
You were 165.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So it's good to weigh more for bobsled.
Yes, totally. That's the reason why if I can stay at 165 and stay fast, I'd rather stay at 165 and stay fast. But it's what my sport demands me. I have to be fast. Got to be over 200 pounds. I got to be able to be fast and strong.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, based on what you're telling me, I think Kenny on the board and Mac Daddy Del Norte and I could all be on a bobsled team. Oh, it's not just being fast. It's not just the weight. It's being fast too.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to have both.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, gotcha. So
Exactly.
you watch Cool Runnings, the Jamaican bobsled team. I know listeners my age and older will remember that. These guys who have nothing to do with snow go out and they compete in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And you're like, I want to do that.
Correct.
And so then what?
So he told me, so you got to put on the weight. So I put on the weight, and then I got slower.
Oh no.
And the thing is,
It was like a 4.3140.
no, I wasn't running that fast until I learned how to run that fast with the weight that I'm at now.
Uh-huh. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I took the combine. So I went out to Chula Vista. So Chula Vista is the Olympic Training Center in California.
Right, I knew that. I'm
So-
just kidding.
I'm like, so I went out there, took the combine, and I did very well.
Okay.
Yep. And then I got invited to the Olympic Training Center in Lake Placid, where we do all our stuff, the push house and stuff like that.
Wow. Okay. So there's an Olympic combine, just like the NFL combine.
Correct.
So you just go and kind of showcase your talents.
Correct.
And you show how fast you can push a box down a hill. And they're like, this guy's good enough. He's going to go to Lake Placid.
Yep.
That's next level.
Yep.
And would you say push the house? Is that what you
The
said?
push house.
The push house.
Yeah, so it's a push-
Tell us about the push house.
So the push house, it's an outdoor facility where we, do most of our pushing on the Mondo track. It's
Okay.
like a 45-meter track.
Okay.
We use a simulator sled, and we mimic everything we do on the ice. So if you ever see Bobsled on YouTube, we have a dummy that we use on a Mondo track outside. So
a Mondo track. Okay. And you go to Lake Placid, you're pushing the Mondo track. And I know there's different types of bobsled. There's like a 2-man and then what's the other one?
the 4-man.
Is that the one you're doing?
I do both.
Oh, you do both?
Yeah.
Wow. And which one do you prefer?
I love both of them. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay.
The drilling is crazy. I love both of them.
And am I right to understand there's only one guy in the bobsled who's steering?
Yes, it's one guy steering. He laughing. It's funny. Yeah.
So your life is in this guy's hands. That person isn't you.
Yeah. I'm glad that no one is in my hand because I can't steer that thing. But I'm being honest, I can't steer it. It's crazy.
Your job is to be fast, explosive. For how far are you pushing the push house?
So in the push house, we train up to 45 meters, depending on the track. Sometimes it can be 30 meters, depending. If you go to Europe and push on that track, it can be smaller. So we go to like 45 meters.
Okay. And then actually, when you're on a bobsled hill, how far do you push it before you jump in?
Oh, so for like 35 or 30 meters, around that 35, 30 meters. Yeah.
And so really, that's your moment,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
To shine, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
To be explosive, to get that sled moving fast.
Yep.
And I guess part of this would be not everyone pushing it is of equal speed.
I'm glad you said that, but not everyone is fast. No, not everyone is fast, but they have their there. You know, there are moments of being strong. You got the guys is, fast. You got guys that's power. So it's a mixture. But they fast enough to get the sled moving.
Was it like the first few times you did it, like everyone else is still standing there and Coach T's way out in front by himself because he's so fast?
No, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of guys that's fast. They're very fast. But it's a mixture. You can tell.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot to unpack here about bobsledding. I feel like we could just go 3 hours talking about this. But if you just joined us, we're with Terrance White, just a great guy. He's here in El Paso, originally from Houston, and he's an Olympic hopeful. He's training to be on the bobsledding team. We're going to go into a break. But before we do that, this is your daily reminder that 915 Talk is a production of Desert Voice Media, listener-supported Desert Voice Media. And if you want to join with us in reaching our community, serving our community, having these community conversations, just visit desertvoice.media. There is a donate option. And also you can listen to this conversation or any previous 915 Talk conversations on that website. We really appreciate you listening, really appreciate you being a part of this journey. Again, we're with Coach Terrance White, Olympic hopeful, bobsledder, rugby player, standing broad jump savant. We'll be back after this break. Do not touch that dial.
We'll be right back. Don't touch that dial.
915 Talk is listener supported and is a production of Desert Voice Media. That's right. It's people just like you who make this program possible. Together with Desert Voice, you can learn how to better serve our neighbors and pray for our community. To become a Desert Voice Media partner, you can visit desertvoice.media. That's right. That's the website, desertvoice.media. Take a look and join us today in reaching our borderland for Christ.
915.
Testify.
I used to be a hardcore Catholic. I actually wasn't giving all praise and honor to God or Jesus Christ. I was worshiping the Virgin Mary, and little by little I started seeing things that were just not right. And it was by listening to your radio station. I would like to tell you how I came upon this station. I used to work for a concrete company, and we were working on 24-hour shifts, and my truck was assigned to somebody at night. So when I came in the morning, they changed all my stations. And so I had my stations already programmed. So I was changing it, and I came up on KLP. And so I left it there because they called me into dispatch to go get my ticket. And when I came back, I just kept listening to it. And if I had never heard this radio station, who knows, I probably would have still been lost, still living in this darkness.
Overcame him by the blood of the Lamb
And by the word of their testimony.
KELPradio.com.
Following Jesus in our culture today can be hard. Here's Pastor Mark Jobe with an encouraging word for you.
You have to believe enough that you're willing to give up your course of life and do what the Bible says, repent. Repent means that you are marching in one direction, you turn around and go in another direction. You see, you have to believe enough to change. Believe enough to be willing to give up the road that you're going on and admit that God's road is better than your road. Believe enough to say that God's way is better than my way. And when you believe enough to say that God's way is better than my way, I abandon my way to pursue God's way. That's called repentance. Believe, repent, and be baptized.
Learn more about living wisely at boldstepsradio.org.
We're back. You're listening to 915 Talk.
You zigging, you zagging. Ooh. Always remember, your bones will not break in a bobsled. No, they shatter. So, who wants in?
And we're back on 915 Talk. I'm your host, Andy Franco. We're here with Terrance White, Olympic hopeful from El Paso, originally from Houston. for bobsledding, and that was just a little snippet from Cool Runnings, the movie that you mentioned, and just talking about how you're flying down this track, and if there's a mistake, your bones don't crack, they get crushed or whatever he said. But before we went into the break, we were talking about this moment, 35 meters before you jump in the bobsled, and that's your moment to shine. That's what you're practicing over and over and over again. And I guess part of it too is everyone being synchronized and jumping in at the same time.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so tell me about that.
So yeah, man, that's a lot of practicing, man.
Yeah.
We spend hours and hours because we all go together in the weight room. We train together. We prep together, but that's the main part of our race. It's being synchronized on loading in the sled. We have sometimes we miss
loading in the sled. That's what we call it.
Yeah, loading in the sled.
Okay.
Practice load.
Okay. And what is the most important thing for loading the sled correctly?
Make sure so it's a lot that goes into it, but the number one thing you don't want to do is push the sled to the point that you can't push it away from you. You want to stay in sync with the sled the whole time. So,
don't let the sled get ahead of you.
Yeah, don't let the sled get ahead of you.
Or you don't want to outrun the sled either, I guess.
Or
that's your problem. Kenny on the board and I don't have that problem. We're just trying to keep up with the sled, but Coach T's running right past it. So, and then you jump in, and is it just heads down?
No, so as soon as we jump in, so you got the driver, right? The driver will be the first one to load in the sled. Then you got the left brake or the left pusher, he's jump in. Then you got the right. Then you got the brakeman. But sometimes you get spiked jumping in, so the spikes on the shoe spike you and stuff like that.
Oh,
so yeah,
the shoes spike you like from the other guys.
Yes, their spikes hit you right in the back, depending on what position you in. So I don't like being a brakeman sometimes I want to be the brakeman because I don't get spiked. But my favorite position is being a second pusher.
Okay, so the second person from the front.
Yes, correct.
Because then if you hit something, you won't be the first person to hit it, and also you're not steering.
Correct. I'm glad I'm not steering. He said it's good. I'm glad I'm not steering.
So walk us through the feeling of your head being down. You don't see where you're going, right?
Correct. You cannot see where you're going.
You could just feel.
Yeah, you just feel. Feel the ride. Feel the ride.
So what is the maximum speed you're going?
Sometimes we get up, depending on what track you at, say like Whistler in Canada, we get up to 100 miles an hour, depending on the four-man.
100 miles an hour on the four-man?
On the four-man, yes.
Two-man slower.
The two-man a little bit slower because there's more weight and more people on the four-man.
On the four-man, yeah. That's why you need Kenny on the board, me and Mac Daddy Del Norte and your bobsled with you. We're going to get some new records on Whistler for the speed.
I agree.
They'll never stop.
So, no, this is great. So, your head's just down and you're hoping for the best.
Yes.
Have you crashed yet?
Yes.
Oh, tell us about that.
Oh, man. So, the crash hurts, man. So, one time I was in Lake Placid. We was just doing our practice runs. And the pilots, sometimes we get new pilots to come in. So, it's, you know how it is. You get new pilots. They don't know how to, steer the track, or they haven't learned the track.
So they don't know the most basic part,
exactly.
which is steering.
It's steering. But you have to learn the track as well, because some people just be like dummies. I didn't want to be a dummy. So I just jumped in. I was like, all right, cool. Running, jumped in. In Lake Placid is one of the worst tracks to crash at. Because it's the curves is crazy.
Okay.
So it's this curve on our track is called the chicane. So it goes up. It's you upside down, then it drops into another curve.
Wait, you go upside down?
Yes. And on Lake Placid track, so you're going as fast as you can. Imagine going 70 to 80 plus miles an hour, and you upside down. Right? But the thing is, with steering, you can't just yank the steering. So the guy yanked it, and I fell upside down on ice.
How did that make you feel, Coach T?
Man, you got to have heart. I tell people you got to have heart. You do not want to wreck. It hurts. It hurts. On ice, too?
Right. Yeah, you didn't grow up around ice. You grew up in Houston. So you're here in El Paso. I saw, I believe it was Channel 7 did a report on your training, and you're pushing a cart around your neighborhood, right?
Correct.
And is this where'd you get the cart?
So I had a guy. Shout out to my guy Marquez. He makes sure that everything I need. Like he a welder. So
Okay.
if I needed a sled that simulates the sled at the push track or at the Olympic Training Center, he make it to the T. Everything I need to be successful.
Okay. And what's it like pushing a cart around El Paso? Have you made it on the local famous Instagram account, anything like that?
Well, I don't have social media, but I don't know. But some people think that I'm weird until they, know what sport I'm doing and they introduce themselves like, yo, what you doing? So, yeah, the neighbors think I'm weird sometimes.
Right. Do you also do that at 4 in the morning?
No, some days. I do it on days it rains. It don't matter the weather. If I have to push, I have to push.
Right.
Sandstorm, too. El Paso, Sandy.
Wait, you were pushing your cart in the sandstorm?
I have to. If my coach say, hey, this is what I need of you, demands of me, it don't, the weather around me doesn't, deter or, deter my situation or whatever I need to do.
Yeah, because I don't mean to throw any shade at my son, Benny, but when there was a windstorm, he wasn't out there practicing his long jump. So what would you say to my son, Benny, in that situation?
If you love you got to love what you do.
Right.
If you don't love what you do, I could be half at it.
Right.
You got to love what you do.
Right. Love it. So you're beating New York City up. You're lifting weights. You're pushing a cart around. Are you making a lot of noise when you're pushing the cart around?
No, it's not that loud.
Okay. All right. Just asking a question for your neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if any of Coach T's neighbors are listening, he thinks it's not loud. So you could let him know if you think otherwise. But crazy guy at 4 in the morning pushing a cart around the neighborhood, getting ready for the Olympics. Love it, love it. So let's go back earlier in your life. I know you had a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me about that.
So first thing first, I didn't grow up in a mother and father household. My mom, single parent mom, she had 5 children. Never met my biological father. I was homeless. Ate out of trash cans, abandoned.
How old were you?
So it's crazy. It was my whole life ever since I've been born. Ever since I've been born, my mom tried to get me up for abortion.
Wow.
So a lot of people don't know that.
Right.
And my dad, because my mom was like 15, 16 when she had me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was challenging for her, but she was a child having a child.
Mm-hmm.
So grew up without my dad. Then I had to grow up at a young age because I had to help take care of my siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have a birthday party. I didn't have holidays celebrated.
Right.
It was more I had to grow up and be a man fast. So.
Right. So you were out kind of on your own at a young age.
Yeah, house from house, staying with people. They wasn't even our family.
Yeah.
Group homes.
Okay.
You have to fight. I'm talking about literally when Salvation Army come in with a box of clothes, you have to fight for, the clothes you have to wear, the shoes, stuff like that. We fought. My whole life I've been fighting.
Right. Is that something you feel as you're getting up and working out early in the morning now? Do you have that same feeling?
Yeah, that's what drives me.
Yeah.
I tell my wife every day, I say, babe, I can't go back to where I came from the hood, from poverty. I'm scared. That's my biggest fear, going back to where God delivered me from.
Right.
Yep.
And how did God deliver you from all that?
I got adopted at the age of 17. So I was 17 turning 18. It was later on. I used to walk to a church. It was in Channelview, Texas. It's like outskirts of Houston. My dad, Kent Wilson, he's a pastor at the church I was going to, South Drive Baptist Church. He saw me walk all the time. And, I'm not saying necessarily felt bad, but he said, okay, I want to take you under my wing. I want to mentor you. I want to love on you. And I felt like, I needed that.
Wow. I definitely want to dive deeper into that. We do need to take a break for traffic. We have Charlie 1 on the phone. Charlie 1, how's your health today?
Well, I tell you, I went to the doctor again. I don't know. I've been to the doctor so many times that I'm losing count here. But he gives me meds and everything. So I'm, just treating it with the meds, and he tells me to have patience, and it'll slowly. I'm making slow progress, kind of like, Andy. I'm making slow progress like they do with the construction areas on the freeway. Just you can barely see the improvement. It's supposed to be improving, but speaking of the freeway and a lot of congestion going on here, I-10 West at Red, we have a stalled 18-wheeler. Now, this has been out there for a couple of hours, but they're having some trouble trying to remove it. I-10 West at Red with a stalled 18-wheeler. It's on the right lane, but the backup is all the way back to Sunland Park, so there's a lot of backup right now. You're in single file. You might want to use Donovan as an alternate route if you wish, or maybe Mesa as your alternate route. But just keep in mind that I-10 West at Red, that backup goes back to past Mesa to actually past the restaurant, those westbound lanes. A lot of congestion going on right here. Let's stick to the west side for a minute. Mesa Hills and Sunland Park, we have a crash. Busy intersection there. Upper Valley Road and Linda Johnson have a crash here. Central area, Yandalet Birch on a crash. East side, this is a busy one here. Zaragoza and Escobar on a crash. So extra caution here. And Andy, back to you.
Charlie 1, we have an Olympic hopeful here in the studio. He's a bobsledder.
A bobsledder?
Yes, from El Paso.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, I bet those bobsledders, when they're out there on the hills and it's icy and snowy, that they would like to try some of that menudo. So let's let the listeners know about the daily menudo.
That would definitely warm them up because it's so cold. I gotta give him props for doing that on being a sledder on the ice because oh my gosh, you know. So the menudo, definitely hot menudo, and it'll warm up the body. Where can you find it? Well, Mi Pueblito Cafe, 3123. But they don't just have the menudo, though. They have a lot of different things like gorditas, tacos, enchiladas, flautas, enchiladas, all sorts of goodies there. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner specials. And that delicious menudo. Where? Mi Pueblito Cafe, 3123. And Andy, back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie 1. We'll talk soon. And so we're back with, if you just joined us, Terrance White, an Olympic hopeful. He's training for the U.S. bobsled team. He's sharing with us how all of that works, the explosiveness and speed needed. But before we went into the traffic break, we were talking about your personal journey growing up in Houston. You were adopted at the age of 17.
Yes, sir.
So you're almost an adult by that point.
Correct.
And you've already lived a lot of an adult life.
Yeah.
And so what was that like for you so late in life, I guess?
Well, I didn't know what to expect, but I know one thing that I did because I knew that the household I was going into, my dad was a pastor. I needed that shepherd. I needed that man's figure because I used to be so emotional at times. I didn't know how to communicate. But my dad taught me how to be a man, having that father figure.
So you already had a relationship with him before you were adopted?
Yes, because he was my pastor at the church.
Okay. So you're walking there to church, and you're out of this tough background. I think that's fair to say. And when you walked into the church, what did you see that attracted you? Because I think a lot of young people who are in that tough situation walk into church once, and that's their last time as well. So what kept you coming back?
I just wanted to know God. There's nothing in my life, because what I was going through, facing at that young age, I didn't know, first of all, I didn't know there was a God. Well, I did, but at that time when you're struggling in poverty, man, you can't see God.
Right.
So it felt distant.
Right. So what did you understand about God when you walked into the church?
That not only God loved me, but the people of God loved me. They made me feel like family. So that what stood out to me.
What did they do to make you feel like family?
They accepted me in. It's crazy. So it was an all-white church. Now, coming from the hood, my adopted parents are white, by the way.
All right.
So then you know that. So being an African-American, going to an all-white church, it was different. So when I went in there, they accepted me.
Yeah.
It wasn't no racism. It wasn't nothing. So they did more for me than my own people did at that time.
Right.
So they accepted me. They prayed for me. I didn't never have people that prayed for me. They gave me clothes, and then I was eating off the street, so they fed me. I wasn't nothing to them. And I seen that if people can love like this, I want to be a part of God's, people.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. And then the pastor, what do? He comes to you and says, I want to adopt you? Or, how does that work?
It's crazy. I'm going to tell you this story. So one day before we transitioned out of the public school to a Christian private school, there was a couple of days left of public school. He came to the school, and I'm around my friends. He said, hey, son, I'm embarrassed because I'm around my friends trying to act, how you try to play that role, try to act gangster or whatever. And he was like, he pulled me to the side in front of everybody. And he said the most beautiful thing that still touched me to this day. He said, son, no matter what, I still love you. And it's in front of everybody.
Wow.
I was like, get on, man. You're not my dad. He was taking care of me. I didn't want my friends thinking, a white man taking care of me and stuff like that. I'm being honest.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't know this dude, man. Get off, man. But when he said he loved me, man, it broke me down. Like, I couldn't play, you know what I'm saying, act like hard and stuff like that. This man called me son. And he said he loved me. Just imagine your dad you never met come up to you and say, son, I love you.
Right.
That's, man,
sure.
powerful. Yep.
Had he adopted other kids before?
No. But the thing is, he always loved working with kids. Him and mom, they always work with kids from youth group. Like, they go on mission trips. They always love kids. They always took care of other kids like they was their own. Never adopted.
Yeah.
I was the first one, but yeah.
Wow. So did they ever share with you, like, their side of the story?
About
like the crazy kid from the hood who walked into their church and like.
Oh, hey, I mean, if you sat down and talked to my dad today, he'll tell you I was a handful. I'm not gonna sit here in front.
Yeah.
It took he had to break me. You know how you got to get a mule or a donkey, you got to break it. Like, because I was so hood, man. Like, I didn't know how to express nothing. I want to fight all the time.
Yeah.
I only knew one thing. If you said something to me, you want to fight.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
But yeah.
I'll bear that in mind as we continue the conversation. Yeah, that's super cool. That's super cool. Again, if you just joined us, we're with Coach Terrance White. He's Olympic hopeful, training for the Olympic American bobsled team. And when are the Olympics coming up?
So it's February next year, 2026.
Okay. And what needs to happen for you to graduate from being Olympic hopeful to Olympian?
It's a lot, it entails, because it's not up to the coaches, it's up to the pilots. So now, what the coaches do with Team USA, what they do is they recruit. If you're talented enough, you go to the training center, you go to camp, but it's up to the pilots to pick you. So you could be talented, you could be strong, but if you're not friends or close group or close knit with the pilot, there's no way you're gonna go to the Olympics.
So the pilot, yes. So you gotta be friends with the pilot.
Yeah. It's politics, but yeah.
Yeah, politics.
Get it? Yeah.
Okay, so that's coming up already February.
Yep.
It's going to be in Italy.
Yep.
And Milan, Italy, which doesn't have any mountains, so I guess it's somewhere outside of Milan, in the north area of Italy. You've already went to Switzerland.
Correct.
So what happened there, and how is that part of that whole process?
So, for us to be qualified for Olympics, we got to have a national team race and European, races overseas. So I was far behind because I'm here training. Okay. I'm not at the training center. So we rely on our sponsors to get us to the training center, our flights and stuff like that. So if you don't have money, you can't live at the training center year round. Right. You have to work and do other stuff.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's interesting. That was a big part of the news report that Channel 7 did about you, was just saying, they were kind of commenting that a lot of the Olympians have these big connections, they have money behind them, but it's not like the United States government is covering all your expenses. No. You have to figure it out.
Yes. We got doctors, we got lawyers, we got guys that, I'm telling you, if they had money, they would have made it. But if you don't have money or someone's pushing you or you working, you can't be successful. Bobsled is expensive, and then you got to maintain the standards too to qualify.
Okay, what are the standards?
The standards, all right. For instance, you got to push a certain time, like under 5.3, 5.2. That's like A standard. 5.3, 5.4. That's B standard. C standard 5.5. That's like getting another invite to development camp.
That's how long it takes you to push the sled 30 meters.
Yes, especially going down the slope.
Right.
You can push faster than that, but some people come in, don't have experience of pushing.
Okay.
So if you're a natural athlete and you get behind the sled, some people just natural.
Yeah, I think Kenny on the board and I are more like B level.
B standard. Hey, that's fast. B standard's fast.
No, I know we're pretty fast, but we're not quite A yet. But yes,
I could roll down the hill that fast.
Oh man, so. You go to Switzerland, you're part of a team, and how to go?
So it was amazing, man. Switzerland's a beautiful place.
It's not as bad as they say it is.
Man, I don't know what they say it is. You could that water good. There's no fat people there. Don't get me wrong. Like everything's healthy. Like it's amazing, man. It's beautiful. But being out there, man, was amazing because we competed against Germany. We competed against like 30, 40 different countries, different teams. Made it. I did great. Made it to the finals and lost to Germany.
You made it to the finals and lost to Germany.
Correct.
Was your time good?
The time was good on my first push. My last push, it was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. And this was for 2-man, not 4. We didn't qualify for 4 because one of our other guys got hurt. So.
Oh.
Yeah, so
you can't just put a dummy in the side and have 3 of you go, or
if we win, hey, that would be good. But if we win, we get disqualified because
you have to have 4 guys.
You got to have actually 4 bodies in
at the finish line.
At the finish line.
Okay. Well, if you need a 4th, give Kenny on the board a call. He's down, but he'll just start seated.
Oh yeah, he don't want to run. Yes, sir.
But okay, so you were beat by Germany.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I find that disappointing. We have to beat Germany, Coach T.
Hey, Germany is like our football, NFL.
Yeah.
They wake up, they bred for bobsled. We athletes, USA got the best athletes, but these guys breathe bobsled.
Yeah, you're like, I'm an El Paso Chihuahua. These guys.
Exactly. These guys wake up out of bed. Hey, ice. Let's go.
I love it. Again, if you're just joining us, we're with Olympic hopeful from El Paso for bobsledding, Terrance White. Super fun conversation. Before we go into break, I just want to thank the KELP impact partner, Caring Companions. If you have an elderly relative who needs some help around the house, check out caringcompanionsep.com. Really good folks over there. I have some friends who use their services, speak very highly of them. I really appreciate them being a part of our journey with this radio ministry. We're going into a break. Do not touch that dial.
We'll be right back. Don't touch that dial.
Are you looking for a Bible teaching church on the west side of El Paso? This is Terry Gray, pastor of Calvary Chapel, Sun City, and speaker on the Summons broadcast heard each weekday at 5 p.m. here on this station. Calvary Chapel, Sun City is located at 960 West Borderland Road on the west side of El Paso. We hold services on Wednesday evenings at 7 and on Sunday mornings at 9 and 11. You can find out more information about us on the web at www.ccsuncity.org. The Lord bless you, my friends.
This is Hope with God. I am Wendy Palau. I was talking with a friend the other day who said, Wendy, I do believe in a superior being, someone or something bigger than me, bigger than this world, but I don't know who or what it is. What if we could know this being, really know him as a father, as a friend, to know the creator of the universe? You can. This creator doesn't stand far off, waiting for us to grovel our way to him or climb a ladder to get to him. In fact, it's the opposite. God made the first move. He revealed himself to us. He called us, and doing everything needed so that we can know him. He went so far as to give his very own son, Jesus, to deal with what separates us from him. Knowing him is a gift, and it's for you. Always remember, there is hope with God.
Hey, KLP listeners, this is Pastor Terry Gray of Calvary Chapel, Sun City on El Paso's west side. I want to invite you to join me at a new time at 5 p.m. Monday through Friday right here on KELP. If you're driving home at 5 p.m. or doing work around the house or getting your evening started, I invite you to join me as we go through the Bible, chapter by chapter, verse by verse. There is nothing more valuable than the Word of God, so let's invest our time in learning more about it together each day. That's our Bible study program, Summons, each weekday at 5 p.m. right here on KELP.
We're back. You're listening to 915 Talk.
We are back, and you're listening to 915 Talk. I'm your host, Andy Frecka. Today, we are with Olympic hopeful Terrance White, training for and bobsledding for the next Winter Olympics, and he's right here in El Paso. During the break, you were talking about you were actually training for the Beijing Olympics.
Correct.
And you broke your leg.
Yes.
Was it because of the pilot?
No, sir.
What happened?
So I was in the training hall. I'm always training. My coach was telling me, hey, take it easy, don't do too much. So I was in the training hall working on my cycling, like dynamic drills and stuff. And I landed wrong, and my knee popped, and it swelled up. So, and I didn't tell my coach anything because I wanted to qualify for the Olympics. But I broke my leg, so it didn't go well.
You broke your leg but didn't want to tell anyone.
I didn't want to tell nobody because you work. People don't understand when you're training for the Olympics. You train your whole life, 4 to 6 years,
right?
Just for 5 seconds or 15 seconds of fame, whatever you may call it. But no, I didn't want to tell nobody.
Wow, yeah, that's a rough moment.
Yep.
What did you learn about yourself at that time?
Stop being cocky, because at that time I felt like I was on top of the world. No one could tell me nothing.
Oh wow, yeah.
I felt like God humbled me, and that's the best way to get my attention.
I got you. And you work at Emmanuel Christian School. Lots of teenagers, kids around. What lessons would you like them to learn through sports, maybe specifically?
Never take anything for granted, especially if you're playing sports. If you want to play basketball and be good at it, practice it, breathe it, eat it, dream it, sleep it. Let that be your everything. Of course, God first, but you got to work.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And you've been through all of these things. You said we're not in bobsledding season right now. I knew that already. No, I'm just joking. But bobsledding season starts up in September.
Well, yes, for us. Back with USA, we started back our camp. We got push championships, I think, in September.
The push championships. Will that be up in Lake Placid?
Correct.
Gotcha. No, that's super cool. And you're also running track for the Performance Sports Academy.
Yeah, PSA.
Yeah.
Shout out to Coach Rob, man.
Yeah, so that's here in El Paso. Tell me about that.
Coach Rob, so running with those guys is amazing. Because I want to get faster. So I hit up Coach Rob one day. I was like, hey, yo, Coach, I want to get faster. He say, all right, I want to see. So I go to the gym, and he helped me become better and better every day. So running with those guys. So we got different age groups. We got kids from middle school, high school, like 5 years old, different levels, and teaching them how to run properly. Not just run, but run properly.
Right.
Yep.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
You're 29.
Correct.
Okay. And do you compete against other 29-year-olds here in El Paso?
So if I'm running track open, especially with PSA, I compete with high school guys, college guys that, pros. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have these track meets, and how are you doing those track meets?
Well, I haven't had one yet.
Okay.
So, but soon I'll let you know.
Oh, through the summer.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
through the summer. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, very cool. Coach Terrance, I know that you've listened to this program before. I don't know how much you listen to, but we do have a little tradition, especially for people who come in for the very first time. It's rapid fire questions, and since we're Christian radio, we believe in right and wrong answers. However, because we're Christian radio, if you give a wrong answer, we'll try not to be judgmental. But because we're Christian radio, we're not always good at not being judgmental. So we'll do our best.
Right.
So without further ado, Kenny on the board, cue up the lightning round. Coach Terrance White, Olympic hopeful bobsledder. First question is a culinary question. It's a question you get asked when you go out to eat, especially here in El Paso. Red or green?
Red.
Red? That's what you like on your enchiladas?
Red, yeah.
Okay, red. Okay. We prefer green here at 915 Talk, but that's okay. And where's your favorite place to answer that question?
Home. Probably at home.
Oh, at home. That is correct. Yes. So you're married and you have a Terrance Jr., right?
Correct.
Yeah. And what's your wife's like best meal that she's cooking?
Oh man, green spaghetti.
Green spaghetti.
Green spaghetti.
Tell me about that.
Man, I don't know what she put in it, but man, she's a great cook. All around. She can bake. She can do all that. But my favorite is green spaghetti.
Green spaghetti. Yeah. I have a lot of follow-up questions about that, but it seems like you just enjoy eating it. So let's say Kenny on the board and I. Next question. Would like to place. I don't know. Just be in the next Olympics. What is one dietary difference we need to make to see that happen?
No fast food.
No fast food.
No fast food.
No fast food. Okay. Next question. Do your parents for Houston ever come to visit you in El Paso?
No.
No? Okay. Let's say they come, and you really want to impress them with El Paso. Let's say they've never been here before. Where's a place that you'll take them in El Paso to impress them that's not a restaurant?
The gym.
The gym. What time of day will you take them to the gym to impress them?
Oh, 2 a.m. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Gotcha. If you could change one thing about training with just a snap of your fingers, make it different, what would that thing be?
That's a hard question. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy all of it?
I love every minute of it.
You love every minute. You wouldn't change any of it. You love getting up at 2 a.m. You love going to the gym and just hitting it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. That's my life. It's just something you chose. I mean, everybody got to sacrifice for something, but I love it.
You love you would change nothing.
Nothing.
You know what, Kenny on the board? I believe that is the correct answer. If you could get one message to young people who are listening right now, what would you want them to hear?
Stay true to God. God is faithful. I'm not talking religious. I'm not talking about what your pastor may told you or you read out some book. But when you build a relationship with God, He never leave you. Your friends will leave you. Parents will leave you. God never leave you.
And that's something you've lived yourself?
Yes. Living testament.
Yeah. Love it. Coach T, loved having you in today. My boys have given me a very good recommendation by inviting you in. This has been such a fun conversation. Where do you see this journey taking you past this next February, the Olympics? Your journey of getting up early, working out, of just grinding. Where do you see this taking you?
I think God still write my story. And in the Olympics or not in the Olympics, the goal is to show the world God's gift. And if I'm able to show that, I'm good. I'm good.
I love it. I love it. So we're all going to be watching the Olympics. We hope to see you there.
Yeah.
What do we need to do as the nation of the United States of America to make sure that we beat Germany and Italy next February?
Oh, yeah.
In bobsledding. What do we need to do?
We definitely need to pray. But pray, yeah.
Okay, we need to pray.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we need to do anything to the track, anything to the sled? Do you need to get up at 1:30 a.m.? Anything else?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I might do 1:30 now. Might do 1:30.
Yeah, but those Germans, they're very difficult to beat.
Yeah.
And if you were to do any summer Olympic sport, what would that sport be?
I love weightlifting.
Weightlifting.
Yeah.
And what would be your go-to?
Snatch. I love snatch and clean and jerk.
What is the snatch?
The snatch is you take the barbell and you snatch it overhead. So.
Okay, from the floor.
From the floor.
What is the most important thing in the snatch?
Oh, you got to stay technical. It's one movement. You can't lean too far over the bar. You can't be too far back. So everything about snatch is very technical.
Okay, and what is your record for snatch, for weight?
So right now around 285, 275, 285, and around that range.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay, kind of Kenny on the board, kind of. No, he's not doing 275. And the other's clean and jerk.
Yes.
That's a different thing than snatch?
Yes, way different.
Oh, it's way different.
Yeah.
So tell me what that is.
You basically, it's the same thing, pushing up off the floor, taking the weight off the floor, but you cleaning it in a front rack position.
Uh-huh.
So that's the clean. So you pull from the ground, fall underneath the bar.
Okay.
That's the front rack, and then you jerk, you hold, and it's a pause, and you push
over your head.
Yeah, over
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what's your record on that one?
So 330 right now. I'm doing
330.
Yeah, 330.
Wow, and what's your weight?
My weight right now is 205.
That's how much you weigh?
Yeah, right now.
Okay, and you're lifting 330 over your head?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. That's pretty cool. Kenny on the board looks very impressed. I like that. Very fun conversation. I love this idea that there's all these interesting people living around us here in El Paso, here in the borderland, doing really cool, interesting things, and just learning about them. And you're definitely one of them. And we'll be cheering for you. We'll be praying for you. You're not on social media. If people want to follow your journey, how are we going to find out what's happening next?
Yeah, that's hard. I try to be more out in the community and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, it's a reason why I don't have social media.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate that. You stay focused.
Yeah.
And you're not about just being on everyone's phone screens and being popular. You're just out there doing the work. So I appreciate that. Well, Coach T, really appreciate you coming in today. Have really enjoyed this conversation. I really hope it's challenged our listeners and viewers, and especially the younger ones.
Yes, sir.
Especially my boys, Jaden and Benny. So, again, thanks for coming in. And as we always say at the end of this program, let's learn to love our city, love our neighbors, and give God all the glory. This has been 915 Talk. You have been listening to 915 Talk, a production of Desert Voice Media. In order to listen to previous editions of 915 Talk, just visit desertvoice.media. Let's learn together to love our city, love our neighbors, and give God